Today we were working on a sandblaster water heater in an apartment complex. The tenants complained that there was low water pressure on the hot side, and I did verify that. It's maybe coming out. I mean, there's a faucet right here in the utility room, and we're maybe getting 5 gallons a minute, but it's not near enough for a big apartment complex. So right away, I tried draining the thing. This was the original spout, and we weren't getting anything out of it. You can see that thing is just plugged solid. So then I undid this, and when I did that, it almost like pooped out this white stuff. I believe this is like a scale, but it's very granular. It's almost like a sugar sand too. I don't know exactly what it is, but something tells me the thing is just absolutely full of it. I just put this on to kind of help me drain it for now. We'll end up putting another one of those guys back on it. You can see we're draining the water in the drain, and it's just coming out like milk. It's got a lot of that crap in it, so, and it's not draining fast either. So we'll see how it goes here, but I'm worried that the thing is just full of it. There is an access door here that we can open up to get in there, and my suspicion is we're gonna darn near need a shovel in there, or like a little hand trowel for gardening to get all this crap out of there. So anyways, stay tuned. Just a little update on our journey. I just took the bolts out of the access cover. I thought that this thing was empty, but it appears to not be empty. You can hear, as soon as I cracked the seal on that, you can hear air rushing in there and displacing the water inside. So we do have a little bit more to go here yet. But we got the cover at least cracked open, so. Okay, we got the water out and we got the cover off, and you can see it's a disaster in there. It's just, I see in there, it almost looks like sand dunes. So I don't exactly know what we're gonna do to get that out of there, but we got some work ahead of us. What we have here is essentially a disaster. I'm taking I think this is about 1.5 inch copper pipe, and I'm just kind of ramming it in there and coming out with stuff. You can see it just comes out like a big turd in that pipe. And we'll do that for a few minutes, and then after getting a few turds out, I've been running cold water through it just to break it up a little bit more. So you'll see it's a disaster. I'll end up having to bring a shovel in here probably and just scrape it all up once it's dried up. So you can see we're getting somewhere, but there's still an awful lot in there. So anyway, I'll show you what we got when we're done. All right, we're just running the hose. I just got one of those expandable hoses, the pressure head on it, and we're just trying to erode some of that crap out of there. It's not pretty, man. This job sucks. Hopefully we can get some of that out. When I scooped it out, the scoop did a good job, but there's just so much that are around the internal components of the unit that I couldn't get with the scoop. So hopefully we can get it out with the water. And then, like I say, just clean it up later and hope it looks okay. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, so I'm reasonably satisfied with where we're at. I've just been, I took the hose, I got one of those expandable hoses with the pressure end on it, and I've been trying to erode away the big mountains of sand in there. And I'll do that, and then I'll use my scooper, just using that 1.5 inch copper, kind of scoop the best I can. It's not real easy to scoop in there because you can see there's all kinds of internal components you can't just jam the thing in the whole unit because you got all that to work with. But we are considerably better. The sand is actually below the access port now, so that's a step in the right direction. And then what I've been doing is then I'll pump it with water, and then the sand kind of displaces and makes it a nice level deal, and then I can scoop a couple more scoops out. It's not great, but I did talk to the rep briefly, and he kind of just said, well, you should replace it. The reason a landlord doesn't want to replace this thing if they don't have to is this water heater is probably about 10 grand installed. They're not cheap at all. It's far more expensive than your average residential unit. So we try to do the best we can to save them if we can. The other problem is my gasket. You can see the rubber behind the sand here, but part of the gasket ripped off. It stayed with the unit when I was taking it off, so I'm gonna have to source one of those today. And actually, we do have an old water heater on site that I might be able to steal that one from, but we're making progress. The next thing I'm going to do, so I'm pretty confident that the cold water inlet, which is this pipe right here, comes down along the backside. I'm pretty confident that that's clear because when I open this valve, it just pushes a ton of water. So the only pipe I'm concerned of now is the hot water outlet. And, they were complaining about low water pressure. So what I'm going to do, over here we have the laundry. Just look at all these foots. It's just a disaster. It's going to take an hour just to clean up. I'll have to shovel all that shit out of there and stuff. Sorry. But anyway, I'm going to take one hose here and one hose here. We don't have any pressure on the hot side because our cold water inlet is shut off. So I'm going to backfeed the hot with the cold to try to push water through the backwards and see if anything's lodged in there that we can dislodge. So that's the next step. Once that's good, and once we get a gasket, hopefully we can turn this thing back on and call it a day and begin the cleanup process. Here's the old water heater I was talking about. We changed this one out probably 3 or 4 months ago. I mean, look at these things, do not last long. Day of installation 4/10/17, and I'm pretty sure the one that we installed was actually this year yet, 2024. So you don't get a whole lot of lifespan out of them. This cover looks the same. A.O. Smith and State, I believe, are the same. So hopefully we can pull this off and the gasket will remain intact and we don't have to make a trip to the cities to try to find one. Okay, so I was able to get that cap off and the gasket is intact, you can see. So I didn't even look at this before, but this one was also covered with a pile of sediment too, so which could have been the reason it failed. This unit had started to leak, and I think the leaks generally occur when it can't get rid of heat, and then it starts wrecking things. But anyways, on to the other one we were working on. Okay, so we're back at our washer machine ports. You can see I ran the hose, just makes a loop from one side to the other. We're going to open that valve, and with a little luck, we'll see some water pouring out of our water heater. So here we go. Air flowing. Sounds like it's doing something. Maybe. Oh yeah, there we go. We're getting some flow. Okay. So now we're gonna put that cover back on it, fill it up, and see if we've made any improvements here on flow for the tenants. Okay, so our water heater is put back together right now. It is running. We have flame there. No leaks or anything like that. You can see here's the aftermath of our disaster. But unfortunately, if we go out here to this utility sink, here's your cold water pressure. You can see it's ripping pretty good. And then your hot water pressure, it's just not quite there. I think it's better than what it was, but it's not like the cold. So there is some restriction there still, in my opinion. So I might have to repeat the process. I'm not going to film the process getting repeated, but maybe I'll let you know what ends up happening. I think I'm going to wait. I don't know what it was like before, so I think I'm going to wait to see if the tenants think it's appropriate now, and then we'll go from there. I don't know. I mean, that water heater is probably on the end of its life. I don't know if it's worth spending another 3-4 hours of labor trying to get that last little bit. We'll see what happens. So anyway, thanks for watching.